namaskar and a very good afternoon to all of you. Respected Dr. Neerja Pande ma'am, who is the Dean at IIM Lucknow, Noida campus, Ms. Tripti Kalra, Artificial Intelligence Leader at IBM, our distinguished speakers for the day. Senior colleagues from iNurture, our highly committed faculty members and dear students who have joined us from different universities, and all other members of the audience, thank you so much for being here. And I'm sure this is going to be a very, very valuable session because of what we have experienced in the last 2 days, and also because of the theme of today being so relevant. It gives me great pleasure to once again extend a warm welcome to all of you. We're talking about Education 4.0, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. India assumed a G20 presidency on December 1st, 2022, and as a microcosm for the world, India's G20 presidency will work to promote this universal sense of oneness, and hence our theme, One Earth, One Family, and One Future, is on the principles of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So let us commence proceedings of day 3. And for this, let me introduce a very qualified and senior academician who has been inspiring hundreds of students in the past many years. Dr. Neerja Pande, Professor Dr. Neerja Pande at IIM Lucknow, with 30 years of academic, administrative, and research experience in premier national and international institutions, is someone who has been a very positive influence in my personal life as well. And ma'am, it's a pleasure and privilege to have you with us. Ma'am, today's topic of lifelong learning and its interconnectedness with the future of work is inspired by multiple factors. And I personally could not have been more happy and proud that you could spare time to speak on this, because you've been a strong influence on my personal journey towards lifelong learning. And I'll always cherish your guidance on that.
So first of all, a very big thank you and namaste and welcome to everybody in this room. I can see that I have a lot of participants, students, teachers. But first, let me thank you, Shraddha and iNurture. And I met Sagar right now, and Tripti I am not able to see, but she must be around. So, thank you for inviting me to this forum and giving me this opportunity to today talk in front of a lot of, yes, Tripti, I can see her now. Yeah, very good afternoon to you as well. And to all my participants who've been kind enough to join us and listen to us. I think, Shraddha, that's a very critical, topic which you've picked up for the whole conclave and the 2 days of discussion, and also the way forward. If I look at, education and learning and how do we move forward, a G20 presidency, populous country, 5 trillion economy, I think 2-3 things which come to my mind, Shraddha. Now, the first thing is that, learning. I think we feel that suddenly, the paradigms are shifting, and we have to learn, and we have to be agile, and we have to be continuously on our toes. But personally, I feel that anybody who aimed for excellence and who aimed for a well-rounded, integrated existence ever in this world, always aimed for learning. Now, Shraddha, how can we say that learning has to be, a 4.0 or education 4? It is something which will always be required if you are aiming towards excellence. If you are looking at a mediocre life, at a life where you would be very satisfied with a complacent, existence where you come and go and nobody even notices, I think a lot of people have been doing that for ages as well. If you want to be relevant to the world, you'll have to be, change is the only constant, as they say. Now, for being relevant, a lot of things have to be unlearned. Now, that is also, again, a very important point of learning, Shraddha. I feel that we're just looking at learning. We also must know how to unlearn because something which was absolutely relevant, more or less very close to truth, is a half truth today or a very big lie. So today we are talking of, we always talked about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, but today we're coming to a reality of this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam because of technology. I mean, COVID has also once again played a very, very transformational role in, the amount of integration it has brought in the world. So for excellence, for relevance, for unlearning a lot of conditioned thoughts, for being nimble-footed, for being contemporary, for being, not a dinosaur, for not carrying a lot of baggage which should have been left behind, for being light in heart, mind and soul, for having a lot of emptiness in us so that new things will go in. I think, Shraddha, I would really 110% agree with you that, the future of work, the future of world is in learning, unlearning, and learning again. There's just no choice, Shraddha. I think I've been teaching courses in critical thinking, a lot of thinking through a management situation, because, any case scenario is not a cardboard case, of just a corner office and some, maybe, say, reduced market share and, cost, say, benefits which have to come, and quality assurance. And no, I think behind all this is a human being. Okay, now once we get the human being in, that is when we'll have to be not only looking at, thinking which is based on parameters and criteria. We'll have to look at thinking which is responsible thinking which is, sensitive to the context, thinking which is skillful, tactfully we handle our, different stakeholders, not because, we are trying to manipulate them, because we are sensitive that what is truth on this side of the Pyrenees is falsehood on the other side. There's not the truth in this world. This is my truth, and your truth can be very different from my truth. So if I'm going to your land and coming to your world to, do a business, I'm the stranger. I'll have to do in Rome as the Romans do. Now, this is not that we are saying that, hey, you are so very different, and my God, this is so awkward. No, we have to celebrate differences. And I think that is where we'll have to be reflective.
I think one of the things you mentioned, diversity, ma'am. I think by, in a very organic way in India, we are exposed to that diversity. We celebrate different festivals, we are associated with different cultures. I think it's so beautiful to have that assimilation, which nobody from outside could understand. And why I'm saying this is, ma'am, in context of course, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which we talk about, and it says every life form is part of, a family. It doesn't only say human beings. So when we talk about planet, etc. So it's so important, ma'am, what you said about reflection, because it's important from a human perspective, but also connecting to the theme of the conference. I think the future of work will demand that.
Back into 4, which is very, very important for us Indians. And when you gave those numbers in the beginning, the kind of the most populous 1 out of 5, imagine if we can bring a little bit of that ethos in our thinking, where we are now looking at 2 languages in which you can read. Why necessary? We will not impose any language, because it is about, the knowledge which you are learning. In fact, today I tell my students that read in whichever language you want. Read classical work in your native language. We are all second speakers of English language. None of us is a first speaker of English language. So I think we must focus on feeding our minds with a lot of these classical thoughts which have survived years and ages. And Shraddha, I would request my students and teachers to really look at contemporary, maybe new age, things, technology, but also go back to classical, because that has survived 500 years. Shakespeare and, our Vishaka Dutt Sanskrit playwright, they have survived 1500 years.